channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. Today is the day I decided I would no longer milk a certain game for gameplay videos, and instead I would put it out to pasture and make a video review of it. I might still play it privately, but I won't, put any more gameplay videos of it. And that game in question is Mini Metro. For those of you who are unfamiliar with it or haven't seen my previous review or my previous videos of this game, Mini Metro is a subway simulation game created by New Zealand-based developer Dinosaur Polo Club. If I'm not mistaken, they are based in Auckland. If I'm not mistaken. This game starts off on a mostly empty map upon which free elements or stations are located. The aim of this game is to unite these stations, as well as various other pseudo-randomly emerging ones together. In order to do that, you as the player are given a set of color-coded lines with which to unite these stations and create a transport network. That is basically the idea of this. Game. That you build a subway transportation network on a given or for a given city map. Which city map? Well, the base game has several dozen, and I'm pretty sure there are at least as many community-made ones. Though I have to warn you that that starting out the game only has 3, so the rest of those you'll have to play through the game to unlock them. They're not that difficult to unlock. Just as an FYI, if you're interested in it. Then again, however, I have to say that creating a network isn't just about connecting stations. It's also about making sure that various trains can arrive to and depart from every other station within the network before any of the stations becomes overcrowded. Because if any station stays overcrowded for too long, the entire network closes down. If any of that sounds interesting to you, then I can only recommend that you go out and buy this game, because it is very much worth it. It is in fact very good value for your money, and it keeps getting supported now, even almost a decade after it was released. You might want to see a gameplay video or two before you commit to it, but once you do, you will. It will offer you a very rewarding gameplay experience. It will sometimes be frustrating, but it will be fulfilling, and I wouldn't go so far as to call it enjoyable. Greatly enjoyable, And I don't want to sound like I'm damning this game by faint praise, because I really think there's a lot of quality here. In case you want to know what it is about this game that I find particularly high quality, that's what the rest of this video is going to be about. And yes, it will be a lot of gushing. The first thing I want to mention is the graphic design. A lot of it is very simplistic, and it might disappoint starting players. However, as the game progresses, as more stations start to emerge, and the network you are working on becomes more complex, well, then it starts to become quite clear why this particular graphical setup was chosen. Because this game absolutely relies on giving the player a lot of information concerning concerning where various travels are and where it is they want to travel to. And it is able to do that in a very elegant and efficient manner. You just need to look at a map and immediately figure out, oh, this is what should be done in order to improve the situation. There isn't a singular solution in all cases, but there are various recommended paths one takes. And that presentation really makes the game very interesting to follow, and very interesting to follow. It gives it a great overview, and it never becomes frustrating. The manner in which information is presented is never frustrating. The information itself can be, but that is really due to how you play, and whether or not you've become good enough at avoiding pileups. Even though the gameplay and the game has a very simple look, the gameplay actually has a surprising degree of both variety and depth. And a lot of that stems from the pseudo-random ways in which the stations emerge, how the player manipulates the existing lines in order to connect these stations, how the player selects to employ various elements within the game, or even which elements the player selects to employ within their game. That all adds to that all contributes to the gameplay variety and gameplay depth that this game has to offer. It ultimately becomes very fulfilling, not just in terms of big number, go bigger, but also in terms of, this is mine. This is what I've done. This is something I can. This is something I've made and that I find some level of a level of joy and delight in, which is a great sentiment for a game to evoke, if I may say so myself. What really allows this game to stand out, however, is its sound design. The soundtrack is once again minimal, but more ambiental, almost meditative. It responds to the actions of the player and helps convey the impression of a large and dynamic entity being shifted within the city city map where the player acts, thereby imbuing it with life. Or you could also say it superimposes certain sound markers on on given situations in order to evoke the same impression. But the point is that this game is very good at conveying the weight or the importance of player action within this game. So it is not just great to listen to in the moment. It also provides a great feedback system. So yeah, full credit goes to Disasterpeace for this for this absolutely amazing sound design that they've worked on. Aside from that, there are various other factors that are bound to keep players invested for a long time as well. For example, the various alternate modes that a player can unlock, all of the various unique achievements that are tailored to each individual level, the daily leaderboards as well as daily challenges for the committed. Like, this game has a lot to offer for basically all levels of engagement with it. Does it come without any drawbacks? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. There are situations where I think the game, both on PC and on mobile, isn't really as responsive as it really could be, and that leads to some frustration and some forced errors on behalf of the that leads the players to commit some forced errors, and it will lead to them being just a little bit frustrated with it. Also, due to the pseudo-random way that that stations emerge, while it does add for extra variety during gameplay, that variety can also make the difficulty of each individual map spike unexpectedly, which isn't really that big a problem, but still it is big enough that I had to mention it here. Overall, this quirky little simulation game is bound to offer something to engage a wide variety of players through its very intuitive and very satisfying gameplay loop. My final rating for Mini Metro is a 4 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like, maybe even share the video wherever you think other people will like it as well. If you have anything you'd like to add to this video, either to the review or the game itself, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. I also have a main channel where I talk about book-related and literature topics, a link to which you will find in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. You will also find a Patreon link down there, in case you want to support me more directly, and also receive certain perks such as early access to videos or scripts. And yeah, that was pretty much all I had to say. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.